Sowore must be free. Free Sowore. Free Sowore. Free Sowore. Free Sowore. Free Sowore. Free Sowore. We are protesting here today because we are tired of dying. As you can see, we are in front of the Nigerian High Commission in New York. The workers of tyrants in the building came and tried and attempted to tell us to leave our positions here. They were trying to exert the Nigerian tyranny, the Nigerian barbarism, that is the way of life in Nigeria, on us. The police came here and warned them that they had no rights to interfere with our freedom of protest. And this is the fundamental problem in Nigeria.
For freedom. Bosa! Bosa! Bosa!
We are not free in Nigeria. In Nigeria, when the youth rise up to protest, to express our fundamental right of protest, you see police everywhere. You see army everywhere. But when terrorists are killing, you do not see police. Right now, Nigeria is flooded with police and army presence because youth are protesting. We are exerting our fundamental human right of protest. We have a right to protest. We have a right to demand revolution. There is a right of revolution. You will see an entire police protest. But the minute terrorists are killing us, they will say the terrorists can be presidents. In Nigeria, they will release the terrorists. You will not see anybody. You will not see police. Police cannot catch them. You will not see military presence. We are tired of dying. We have the worst terrorism in the world. We have the worst high-sea piracy in Nigeria in the world. We have the worst Fulani terrorism in the world. We have the worst oil poisoning of our oceans in Nigeria. We have the most poor people of any country in the world in Nigeria. Nothing has changed through this democratic dispensation. And that is why we are saying Buhari must go. The United States impose sanctions on Nigeria.
Brave Nigerian people! Brave Nigerian people! Greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest of the greatest Nigerian people! We are here today to protest the unjust detention of Omoyele Sowore. Right? Just here today to protest the siege that Nigeria is under. We are here today to protest the gross incompetence of the Buhari administration. We are here today to protest and demand that the new Nigeria of our desire must emerge right now.
Right now!
A few days ago, at 1:23 a.m. precisely, Omoyele Sowore was abducted by the DSS.
Kidnapped.
As we speak, he's held incommunicado. And the report we've heard is that Sowore is being treated and held under inhuman conditions in a supposed democracy.
Gestapo style.
We are not fooled.
Our democracy
And we are standing loud and clear
We don't have democracy.
that this is the commencement of a series of actions to demand the respect of the fundamental human rights of Omoyele Sowore as enshrined and guaranteed in the Nigerian Constitution. We are no longer going to tolerate the gradual creep to tyranny in Nigeria. I welcome everyone here today, and our comrades are still coming. We'll be here for as long as it takes. And like I said, this will be a sustained action. We'll be here every day until Sowore is released. We are demanding the unconditional release of Omoyele Sowore.
Release!
Nothing must happen to him. Omoyele Sowore went in hale and hearty, and he must emerge hale and hearty immediately. So Nigerians, rise up!
Rise up!
Demand that enough is enough.
What do you think led the government to do such?
You know, when you have a government that is not for the people, they panic. If you believe that Sowore wasn't speaking the truth, if you believe that Sowore would have no impact, they should have left him. Yes. Let him go out there, do his protest, and see if he can actually pull the crowd. But they know the stuff Sowore is made of. They know Sowore is a freedom fighter. They know Sowore as being on the forefront of the institutionalizing of democracy in Nigeria. They know that Sowore, through our reporters, has been able to create a trailblazing point to expose the corruption and the malfeasance of the Nigerian political class. They know his worth, and they know that Sowore represents the voiceless in Nigeria. They know he speaks for the multitude of Nigerians, and they were afraid to be able to, for them to have been exposed. They would have been exposed today, but mark my word, they can't hold him on indefinitely.
Yes.
Whenever Sowore comes out, he's still going to give voice to the voiceless in Nigeria.
He must be free.
He's demanding that we cannot continue the way we are today. Hundreds and millions of Nigerian youth, they graduate from colleges and there are no jobs for them. You don't have hospitals. There is poverty and penury in the land. And Sowore will continue to demand for that until sanity prevails in Nigeria.
Greatest Nigerian people, it is very clear, it is utterly clear that this is injustice on Sowore. This is injustice on every one of us. If you are still there standing on the fence, you better join us now. We are calling the attention of the whole world. We are in front of the United Nations. We are calling the attention of every one of us, everyone on earth, to come to our aid. Sowore must be free with no conditionality attached to it. He must be free now. The injustice is enough. The killing must be stopped. The insecurity must be stopped. The lack of infrastructure must be improved. The education system must be improved. What we are calling for now, the revolt. People have right to revolt. People have right to demand for good governance in our country. People have right to speak, to say their mind. Sowore is expressing all our views. So he must not be arrested. He must be released now. He must be released now. And we are all here living our various homes and jobs in the mid-afternoon under the sun, protesting and demanding for the release of our brother, our activist brother, our political activist. The publisher of Sahara reporters should be released with immediate effect, with nothing attached to it. We are demanding it now. We have right to demand for justice in our country. It has been a pattern of the Abuja government to be picking people up without no conditions, and it's been held without no bail. We have several examples like Zakzaki. We have this man, Dasuki, and there are many other people. Likewise, they did same to Deji. So now this is Sowore's time. We don't want him to stay in your custody for that long. That is not his house. He lived on the street with the people. We demand his release now. Sowore must be free.
I just want to make one thing very clear to us, that they are using the word revolution, but I just wanted to explain a little bit about it. Revolution means revolt, a protest. Simple, that's what it is. It's a protest for good governance. It's a protest for injustice in the land, because people are tired. People are dying on a daily basis. Nigeria is the cheapest place to die. Trust me. Death is cheap as if it's pure water. Enough is enough. I can tell you, as we speak today, there's no single person that's been prosecuted, fully prosecuted for any arms of insecurity, banditry, kidnapping. There's no single person that been even the kidnapper, the super kidnapper, he has not been prosecuted. This has to be stopped. We demand for good governance. Everybody, we are economic slaves over here in the United States. We want to go back home and demand for good governance. We see a lot of infrastructure that has been put up here. We all love it. We all like it. Also, the government too, they travel, they come abroad, they see all these facilities. They cannot emulate the same in our country. Enough is enough. That's what we are asking for. It's simple. We're asking for good governance. We know the current structure, the current system of government cannot provide the good governance that we demand. And that's why we are coming here today to say, let us take a step back, systematically look at our structure and see how we can proceed, how we can move forward. And that's simply what the revolt is all about. It's demanding for good governance. The highest earning lawmakers in the land are in our country. And common average people, Nigerian worker, cannot be paid just $30, 30,000 naira, which is less than $100. Imagine someone working for the whole month, 30 days. And it equates to $84 in conversion. This is an absurd. And guess what? Let me tell you clearly. A salary of a senator in a month or thereabout is equivalent to 36 years in service. Assuming that the worker is being paid 30,000 naira monthly for 36 years. is equivalent to 1 year's salary of a senator. It is absurd in a country whereby a governor will spend 4 years and will be given a life pension and will be receiving a huge amount of money, houses, cars, on a monthly and yearly basis. This has to stop. Thank you.
Must be free. Let us Nigerian people. What we are demanding from the government is simple. Yes. We want to release the unconditional release of Omoyele Sowore.
Yes.
As you can see, we are harmless. We don't hold any gun, any machete, even back home in Nigeria. Yes. Nobody is carrying arms. All we are demanding from the government is good governance.
Yes.
Protections of lives and properties.
Yes.
Good education for our children. Yes. Good health facilities for our people.
Yes.
We are here in the United States. We are enjoying everything humanly possible in this country.
Yes.
Everything. We are enjoying freedom. We are enjoying freedom of speech. Enjoying freedom of assembly.
Yes.
We are more secured. That is all we are demanding from the Nigerian government.
Yes.
We are peaceful people.
Yes.
We want Nigerians to be free. I want to go back to my country and be free and be happy.
Exactly.
I want to go back to my country and now I'll be happy that I'm in my country, not be fearful.
Yes.
People are calling me from home. Don't come home. Don't come home. That is not the country I desire. Please, that is all we are asking from the government. We are peace-loving people. We don't believe in harms. We don't believe in causing chaos in the country.
Yes.
All we want is good governance. Right now, before now, one woman came here and told me that in our village, they are raping women and putting sand in their private part. That is very bad.
Yes.
That is very uncalled for.
It's absurd.
That is absurd. We don't need that.
It's disturbing.
Please, that is all we are asking for the government. Good governance. Good governance.
I'm talking on behalf of the Nigerian women. I'm so concerned. I'm so concerned about the plight of Nigerian women, especially the women that are being raped in our villages, in our towns. Please, we are calling on the Nigerian government. All we want is security. We want security of lives and property. Nigerians are peaceful lovers. Nigerians are peaceful people that want the best for themselves. We Nigerians in the diaspora are demanding for good justice for our people. We want good security for our people. We want good education for our people. We want good health facilities for our people. That is all we are demanding. We are not revolting against to overthrow the government. What we are demanding is good governance. The government of Nigeria should be sensitive to the plight of the people. The people are dying in drones. Please, this is a wake-up call for the government. Do something. And please, free Omoyele Sowore. He's just talking for the emancipation of the masses. He's harmless. Free him now. Thank you.
Freedom. I just want to add that our President Muhammadu Buhari was captured. Buhari himself was part of a protest in 2014.
Yes.
So we are here obviously in solidarity with one another. We are all Nigerians.
Yes.
If Buhari himself was able to protest injustice in Nigeria, why is it that the rest of us cannot protest injustice?
Yes.
Injustice to one is injustice to all. This is entrenched in our constitution, the same constitution that enthroned Buhari to presidency. So we are the regular Nigerians. There's no one speaking for us. So we have one of us who's also been oppressed, and he decides he wants to voice the oppression, and he's now being detained. It just doesn't make sense to us.
Yes.
We are in front of the United Nations, and this is how it must work. Democracy is foreign to our people. Democracy is foreign to Nigeria. So if we have democracy, it has to be practiced in all its ramifications.
Yes.
We can't have democracy and have a tyrant as our president.
Yes.
We cannot have democracy and have a dictator as our president.
That's correct.
So it's either we have democracy or we don't have democracy.
Yes.
So if we must continue with this democracy in Nigeria, we want for the democracy to be practiced to the letter. So if democracy is not working for us, we must not have democracy. Because I, as a concerned citizen, as a concerned Nigerian, I just feel like our democracy isn't working. So we have to have democracy that works for us.
Enough is enough.
Yes, so.
Enough is enough.
Yes, so.
In a country where there's no rule of law cannot be upheld. Human rights, the dignity of a human is degraded. We are tired and we cannot take this anymore. Individual rights is not upheld. People cannot travel from one state or one locality to the other without being killed. What is the essence of being alive when your right cannot be upheld? What is the essence of being alive when your dignity is being taken away from you? When the government of the day no longer recognize the rights of every citizen of the country? What am I doing in this country? Why am I in America? It is because there is freedom of speech. People can speak. People have the right to speak and do whatever. Because that is your right. Yes. In my home country in Africa, you speak, you are dead. So that is the main reason why we are here today. You speak against injustice, they kill you. You speak against inequality, they kill you. What is the risk? What is the dignity of human life where you cannot speak freely?
I believe that freedom of speech, freedom of protest is the right of every Nigerian. And I believe as a Nigerian citizen, I have the right to move to wherever I want. A friend of mine just traveled to Nigeria, and his family asked him not to come to the east because they are not sure if he's going to be killed on the way. We are not safe anymore in our country. We cannot freely express ourselves. So why do we have a country? Right now we are demanding the release and the freedom of an unconditional release of Omoyele Sowore because he is exercising his human rights. And without freedom of speech, the dignity of human has been taken away. If you cannot freely move in your own country, if you cannot demand good education, if you cannot demand good governance, I don't think there's anything so hard for us. I don't think it's too much for us to ask for good governance, to govern the right way, to use our resources the right way, and in order to benefit every citizen of the country. What are we doing in this country if Nigeria is okay? We are here for greener pasture. But if our country can successfully or conveniently do what is right, if the government do what is right, we will all be back on contributing our own quota to the development of the Nigerian country. But it's not so. And somebody who has seen it fit that, oh, though I'm comfortable in America, let me go back home and liberate our people. Let me back home and fight for the right of every citizen of the country. So why is it that the government is not happy with him exercising his own right, his own human right? So we demand unconditional release of Omoyele Sowore. If they don't want this thing to degenerate to something else, freedom of speech. If I say I want to kill you, in the law, it's not mean I'm killing you. Revolution does not mean we are going to come out with arms. Revolution is demanding for our rights. So the right is embedded in the Nigerian constitution that you can stand and say what you want. So if we cannot speak freely, that means there's no reason to be alive. Thank you.
Yeah, all these neighbor Nigerians all over the world have condemned the kidnap of Omoyele Sowore. So if you are still here to condemn it, I don't know where you belong. But all I'm very sure of is that all these neighbor human beings, all these neighbor persons back home and abroad, they are condemning the arrest and the kidnapping of Omoyele Sowore. You don't need to wait to be victim of kidnapping, insecurity, and death before you start speaking up. You don't need to become victim of bad governance of Muhammadu Buhari before you know it's your right to speak up. Either you speak up or you don't speak up, you are not sure of your life. So why not speak up and don't die for free?
There is one thing I want to say that is very instructive. Nigeria has no statute of limitation. Muhammadu Buhari, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida overthrew a democratically elected government on December 31st, 1983. Let's get that very clear. Nigeria, Sowore and a number of Nigerians fought for democracy that everybody is enjoying today. Nigeria is not a conquered state, and no Nigeria is more or is bigger than another Nigeria. No Nigeria, the Buhari supporters and Buhari himself cannot dictate their terms
alone to Nigeria. It has to be by the Nigerian law and the Nigerian constitution. And moving forward, by part of what our convener said was that he participated in the election and they took soldiers to intimidate him on the election day. That is a fact and that is documented. And up till now, INEC has not been able to post the result of that election on their website. Those are his points. And I want to appeal to all Nigerians. You may want to ask us questions regarding legal or illegality of what he has done. Sowore now has a legal team. You can direct your inquiries to them. Sowore want to be judged by history, so he needs no pity of no one. The battle line is getting drawn, or it's been drawn. It's either for or against. And we, all of us, for or against, has to determine how we are going to move forward. Thank you.